All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to No Final Bell. Just thought we'd make a update here. It's not 1 year yet, but in a couple of weeks, it actually will be our 1 year
Yes.
anniversary, which I'm quite shocked about. I didn't even realize we've been doing this podcast for a whole year. Time flies when you're having fun, I will say.
More than likely, with how things are going, episode 50 could very well be our 1 year anniversary episode.
I don't think
So
so. I mean, it might not. It might not be. I'm pretty sure it will
it
not
might be
be.
sooner. It might be like
Uh,
48 or
it'll be
49.
49.
Okay.
49 at
Well,
most.
either way, ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for our 1 year anniversary.
Yes, please.
Um, but we're going to kick things off with some NWA Impact talk. Starting off, OGK wants a shot at the NWA Tag Team titles, but not if La Rebellion has anything to say about it. The two teams battle at the podium, and then Damian 666, the father of Bestia, missed OGK, spits the mist right in their face. Then we get a number one contenders match for the national championship. Scion beats Rodney Mack. So it's safe to say that, yeah, ever since being under the tutelage of his father, Austin Idol, Scion has been just on the fast track to winning gold. Um, we find out that Camille will have to defend her championship twice in 2 nights at NWA 74, as on night 2 she will face the winner of the Burke Invitational.
Hmm.
So night 1 she is challenging Taya Valkyrie, and then night 2. Then we have more Team War. They sure love Team War. The Miserably Faithful beat the Ill Begotten. Then backstage with Homicide and Caprice Coleman. And now, if you know Caprice Coleman from Ring of Honor, you know that he is the color commentator. But some of you may not know that on top of being the color commentator for Ring of Honor, he does a little bit of wrestling here and there. So Caprice Coleman looks to want a shot at Homicide and his junior heavyweight title. And then in the main event of Power this week, Tyrus beats Odinson to retain the NWA television title. That's NWA. We get into Impact. Deonna Purrazzo beats Rosemary due to a distraction from Jessica. Um, then we have some Honor No More stuff. They are questioning their trust as they'll need it ahead of Emergence. In ring action, Brian Myers beats Black Taurus to retain the digital media title, but he cheated to win, as per usual. After the match, Bhupinder Gujjar comes down to feed Myers to Decay, who, along with Bhupinder, beat down Myers. Then we have Jordan Grace. She's ready to overcome the obstacle that is Mia Yim at Emergence and hopes to retain. More than likely she will, but they might throw us a curveball and have Mia Yim be once again a Knockouts World Champion. Although when she was initially the Impact Knockouts champion, she was under the ring name of Jade. So, um, this one isn't really too much to talk about, but Masha beats Gazelle Shaw. Did we really expect Gazelle Shaw to beat Masha? I mean, come on. We learned that this Thursday on Impact, Madison Rayne will face Mia Yim. And at Emergence,
Oh my
Jessica.
God. You mean to tell me
Oh, yeah.
Madison Rayne's going to be on wrestling 2 different nights on 2 different brands? Oh my God. Yeah, it happens.
How could they have possibly pulled this
It's
off?
because the AEW is live and Impact is
Impact is taped like
pre-recorded.
months before.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
that I know. Exposing the business.
sometimes a
Sorry.
month before, maybe just even like, but yes, you get the point. Um, then we learn that at Emergence, Jessica will be in the corner of Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie in their title match against Vexed. Will that cost Rosemary and Taya? Will Vexed become the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions? Will Deonna Purrazzo once again fulfill her destiny of being a champion? We will we will have to see this Friday at Emergence. Then we have the Motor City Machine Guns versus Violent by Design. They beat Violent by Design, but after the match, VBD beats down the Guns. Then Kushida comes down to even the odds, but the odds were only even for so long because out comes Eric Young to take out Kushida. And now the family is back together. VBD, once again, as a cohesive unit, three men: Eric Young, Diener, and Joe Doring. We learned that Bound for Glory will take place on Friday, October 2nd, or I'm sorry, Friday, October 7th in Albany, New York.
I wonder if it's going to be in the MVP arena like
I
AEW will be
I doubt
September
it
14th.
because Impact is more of a few hundred people. It's more than likely going to be in some small little studio place or whatever.
Right,
Um,
probably.
but I was looking at this while watching the taping, and I was looking at it. I'm like, man, that's tempting because the way I look at it is Albany is about a 3-hour drive, give or take, for us. So, you know, like, but it's not to say that I would love to watch, be there for an Impact Wrestling show or whatever you want to call it. But moving on, Chris Sabin suggests himself and Kushida take on VBD at Emergence, and it has been made official. So this Friday, the team of Chris Sabin and Kushida will take on Joe Doring and Diener.
Hmm.
Then backstage, Eddie Edwards is teasing for Josh Alexander to join Honor No More, so it seems. Sami Callihan beats Raj Singh, then after the match calls out Macklin and Moose, but Macklin came out as a distraction. Sami saw it coming, but was not prepared for the beatdown to come from Moose and Macklin, who stand tall. Killer Kelly is putting the Knockouts division on notice with her in-ring debut scheduled for this Thursday. Also this Thursday, Kenny King versus Carl Anderson, Diener versus Kushida, and Speedball Mike Bailey versus Rocky Romero for the X Division title, with the winner then facing Jack Evans at Emergence. That match ought to be I cannot wait. And it's safe to say that Speedball will retain against Rocky Romero. But also this Thursday, tomorrow night, Josh Alexander and Alex Shelley will sign the contract for their championship match at Emergence. And also at Emergence, it will be Steve Macklin versus Sami Callihan. And in the main event of Impact, PCO beats Doc Gallows in a Derby City street fight, which, by the way, those two men were just beating the holy hell out of each other. In the match, we even saw, with an exposed ring canvas, by the way, too, PCO went through the ring. So, even with an exposed ring canvas, he still went through the ring.
Yeah, and then a rose before the 10 count.
And yeah, next thing you know, PCO rises from the ashes. He is not human. Ladies and gentlemen, PCO is something else. But that's all for NWA and Impact. We bring it over to AEW talk, which there is a bit to talk about.
Yeah,
too.
there's a lot. I mean,
We have Dynamite. We have Rampage. We
and
have Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, Battle of the Belts 3 was Saturday. Dynamite was, of course, Wednesday. And we had a live edition of Rampage this Friday, which was actually pretty star-studded, surprisingly, for the first time in a while. But that will also be the case probably for Arthur Ashe Stadium, because last year when they had it in Arthur Ashe Stadium, there was 4 hours of action, 2 hours of Dynamite, 2 hours of Rampage. Definitely expect that to happen again, because they had some of the greatest matches there. I mean, who could forget, Kenny Omega competing
Oh,
there
yeah.
last year.
Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson.
Oh yeah, it was one of the time limit draw matches too. I'm pretty sure in Arthur Ashe
Yes.
Stadium. So,
Yeah, I believe that one was a
um,
30-minute time limit draw.
speaking of Kenny Omega, I'm hoping that I honestly thought he was going to be back, but we will talk about who was back this week, and it wasn't the good old the bout machine Kenny Omega. But speaking of it, we're gonna go right into the action and starting off with Dynamite. Jay Lethal and Orange Cassidy face off against each other. Actually, yes, face off against each other, which does lead into a six-man tag team match on actually no, it leads to a match between Jay Lethal and Wardlow at Battle of the Bells. But as to no surprise, Jay Lethal is the number two ranked competitor, so it kind of made a lot of sense to have him beat Orange Cassidy. Yes, Jay Lethal beats Orange Cassidy in this match. Then Sanjay Dutt calls out Wardlow for whatever reason. I don't think that's such a great idea, Sanjay. Why are you getting involved with Jay Lethal's business, like calling out a man that you have no business with? And then Wardlow runs into the ring, and to no surprise, they all run out. And then Sanjay wants Wardlow to put the title on the line to Battle of the Belts 3. Thoughts? Well, we will get to there very soon, but we'll get there. How about that? We'll get there. Our thoughts are you probably should have gave the title to the other man because he looked pretty good with holding the title up. But yes, of course, this episode title will be a shocking debut? Question mark. Because we don't know exactly. Of course, we have a picture of them, but the undisputed elite are back. Adam Cole says it's great to be in the ring with his friends. Yes, it's nice to see you back because let me tell you something. AEW is just not the same without Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, um, Kyle O'Reilly. Of course, we're missing one name, and that man is Kenny frickin' Omega, which would have made a little sense to have him back here instead of who we did get. Uh, but unfortunately, Adam Cole is not medically cleared yet. I'm sure he will be soon because we do have that trios tournament that's going to be happening. They say it's going to be happening, and then we'll be crowning new trios tag teams at All Out. But I hate to say it, you have a little less than a month away before the pay per view. You better get going on that tournament very
Yeah.
soon. That's just me. Tony, if you know what's up, create your trios, have the tournament sooner than later because you seem to rush these tournaments a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing against it. It just like, it kind of just, oh, here's the teams, and then, oh, we're going to have some on Dynamite, some on Rampage, which is not, nothing bad with that. Just get me wrong, just you have a little less than a month. Of course, later on tonight, it's his birthday, so happy birthday
Yeah.
to Marty. He is going to be the good old 24.
25.
Oh yeah, 25. Sorry, 25.
I'm a quarter of a century old.
But yes, congratulations to Marty. He's going to be 25. It's his birthday tomorrow. Of course, we will be in Buffalo, spending the day there for his birthday, and we will not be home.
Well, by the time you are watching this, I am already 25.
But yes, Adam Cole also says that people are looking at 5 loyal people and fighting with them no matter what. Came to AEW because of the Young Bucks, which is probably more so true than not. Says if you can't choose either one other member of the group, then the Young Bucks can't do the tournament. Which, surprisingly, the Undisputed Elite turn on the Young Bucks and are no more of the Undisputed Elite.
Well, they're still the undisputed elite. They just kicked the Young Bucks out.
Then they beat down the Young Bucks. Could the Young Bucks turn back as the faces very possible. I don't know if it works out for them that well, but I think it's something that we needed to see. We needed to see face Young Bucks. Um, then Hangman Adam Page comes down to save the Young Bucks. What does this mean? It could mean that we now have the Young Bucks who haven't really done anything ever since losing the tag team titles.
Yeah.
Um, possibly go for the trios tag team titles with Adam Hangman Page. Maybe. We don't know for certain because there could be a man that could be coming back that has something to say about that. You
Well,
know what would be interesting?
besides what I'm thinking of that could be interesting is they add the
What
Ring of
if?
Honor six-man tag team champions as into the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it could, but no. Honestly, what I can honestly see happening is, what if they? I know we saw a feud with Hangman and Page and Kenny Omega before, but what if we get another one-off match where like Kenny somehow costs Page and the Young Bucks the victory, and then joins up with the Undisputed Elite, and then it causes into like a Hangman and a Page and Kenny Omega bout at All Out. I could see something like that. Does it make sense? Probably not, but it's still something. I mean, yeah, you've seen them face off against each other before, but I think it would be the best kind of storytelling to have between the Elite and the Undisputed Elite. I don't think you should even call them the Undisputed Elite. It just the Undisputed Elite is basically the five of them together.
Not entirely.
You know,
I
it
mean,
just you know, too bad they can't have their NXT um persona. You know, but as far as what does that mean? Yeah, I think they're going to be part of the trios tag team tournament. As far as when that's going to happen, I have no idea. I would think sooner than later. You would have to. Um, John Moxley doesn't care who he faces next. You know, later tonight for the title. It doesn't have any respect for anyone and won't stop until someone goes to the hospital. Thoughts, even if it's him. Um, so Lionheart, Chris Jericho, you better watch the hell out because John Moxley might just put you in the hospital. Um, Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker face off against Thunderstorm. A decently good back and forth match. They actually, surprisingly, the fans actually said it.
yeah,
Said
they were into that.
they were very well invested in that women's tag team match. It's about freaking time. It sucks they had to end up being in Wisconsin. I think that's where they were for
No, our
Dynamite.
yes, it was Wisconsin. That's
It,
no, wait, it was Columbus, Ohio.
oh yeah, it's kind of sad that Columbus, Ohio, had to be the one place that actually
I was
respected
gonna say no.
the women's division.
Wisconsin was
Was for
Battle of the Belts and Rampage.
yes, that's right. So, but surprisingly, I'm kind of shocked that Thunderstorm didn't get the victory here. But Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker do beat Thunderstorm in a pretty good match, honestly. I was quite intrigued. Um, Now the real question I have here is, AEW did come up with, they had the men's tag team titles, they had the trios tag team titles. Could we very well see soon enough a women's tag team title division?
I don't think so because much like WWE, there's not really a lot of women that can form a tag team.
I mean, you have Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. You have Thunderstorm.
Yeah, but
You had the baddies.
well, the baddie. Well, but my thing with Thunderstorm is it's much like in a sense what they were trying to do with Sasha and Naomi before they initially walked out, which was they're gonna like, well, especially Thunder Rosa, she's the women's champion right now, and it's like if you're gonna have like a women's tag team title and have her as a women's tag team champion, like I mean, yeah, WWE
But
did it with Sasha and Bailey where they were the world champions while holding the women's tag titles, but like
right,
that didn't really make a lot of like it doesn't make
right.
sense for Thunder
Yeah,
Rosa to follow that path as
I
well,
understand that too. I mean, I'm sure it could eventually happen.
especially if Tony Storm isn't even the TBS champion
But
herself.
this is what I don't like. I don't like how you didn't turn Tony Storm heel after that loss. Because I would think eventually the storytelling is going to be, well, Thunderstorm is going to eventually break up. You're going to see Tony Storm turn heel. You're going to see her on the championship.
Well, if you're gonna do anything in terms of that for like storytelling, have it be that like, oh, you know, as a team, Thunderstorm always loses, and Tony Storm is tired of losing with Thunder Rosa. So basically, it's that Thunder Rosa was always the rock that was keeping Tony Storm like held back or
Right.
whatever, and then hey, don't forget Thunder, I'm still the number one contender for your title. I'm coming for that title, bitch, or like something. You don't have to go that far, but like, and at the same time, it's like they could go that route or
Well,
like
because
whatever.
like I would think that that's probably going to be the plan. Is like they're going to face off against each other at the pay per view for the Women's World Championship, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, yeah, you already did. You had what? Who? I mean, it was at the um Forbidden Doors pay per view, wasn't it? Like Tony Storm against.
Yeah,
Well, I think this time it makes a little bit more sense to have Tony Storm actually face off against each other, against her, and this time beat her for the Women's World
yeah. I was gonna
Championship.
say like have
I honestly nothing against you know, because if you do end up having it being Thunder Rosa that does beat Tony Storm here,
it'll
then
be almost
it
like a
makes no
Britt
sense.
Baker situation of like they had all these opponents, credible opponents that could dethrone her, but yet they decided not to give the title to them. I mean, for example, look at Chris Statlander. Like,
I know.
of all people that were very credible to take the title from Britt, Chris Statlander should have and probably would have been the one that could have dethroned
I
her.
mean, I think Thunder Rosa has had a decent run. Like it's been over 100 days she's been the champion. So
Yeah, I
honestly,
think it's time to
I
give
think it's
somebody else
yeah, I
the
think so
shine.
too. I think it's time for Thunder Rosa to lose and Tony
Give Tony
Storm
Storm the
to be the
rub.
champ. Exactly. I think um as far as like what could possibly happen later tonight, it would be nice to see Jay Cargill lose to Madison Rain, because
Not gonna happen
I
though.
think you can honestly I could see her being a champion in AEW, but as far as that, I'm
I don't
hoping
know.
it's
I mean,
Athena that
because
dethrones her. Honestly,
I don't know about that honestly because like Madison Rain, her whole thing really is she's a coach for the women's division,
right?
and I think like her being a champion in AEW doesn't make a lot of sense for her role in the company. So like and I'm not disrespecting Madison Rain as a wrestler. I just think like, overall with her role in the company, her being a champion doesn't make a lot of sense. That's just me personally.
Understandable. This one kind of felt a little weird. What happened next? Eddie Kingston, like, well, they had like a thing with Sammy Guevara and Ty
Yeah,
Conti, and about
they're
ready to
getting
get
married.
married in Paris.
They are now married at the point of this recording.
Um, Eddie Kingston, breaks up the whole thing.
Oh
He
yeah.
could care of a shit about them getting married and all their stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry about that. But yeah, he's basically he looked at it and he's like, "Oh, congratulations! Nobody cares." Which, I mean, I'm siding with Eddie here. Nobody cares about their damn wedding. Nobody
Right.
cares about them as a couple. They flaunt their freaking marriage and their relationship all over Twitter, all over the place. Nobody cares. I even wanted to take a sound clip of that from Twitter and save it, but I still don't have the
But
video
the
yet.
the
But
thing that made absolutely no sense is like he wants a match against some of the pay per view. Like why? Like there's no storytelling. Okay, I get it. You know, Blackpool Combat Club and Jericho Appreciation Society, and then you just want to face them for whatever reason. It just makes absolutely no sense. It just
yeah,
like,
there hasn't really been a lot of build other
I mean,
than like, oh yeah, they faced each other at Blood and Guts,
unless
and
it's like
they faced each other
unless
in
you
Anarchy in the
build it up
Arena.
from now until then, maybe. But like right now, the only thing I get is like why Tony
Yeah,
Khan, like why Eddie Kingston and Sammy. I mean, I guess I'm sure it's still going to be a good match, but like their styles are two different styles, and I don't know if they're gonna whole line with each other very well in the match. Sammy's a high flyer, and Eddie Kingston's a brawler. So
yeah.
I don't know if those two styles are gonna very well match in the ring very well. They could, they could not. I don't know. But as far as that, I hope that match does not happen. To be honest with you, um, but what isn't shocking at all, Team Taz is officially over, and they're on their own now. Thoughts? I think it's a
They're
good
gonna
thing.
break out as stars,
Oh yeah, I think
man.
it's a good thing. Ricky
Especially
Starks.
Hook.
Oh yeah, Hook is definitely gonna do big and better things.
I mean,
Powerhouse Hobbs,
honestly
they're already
though,
kind of starting to get him out
yes.
on that track.
Well, same with Ricky. Like all of them at this point now. It's just a shame that Brian Cage couldn't be that kind of a star. But hey, you know, he'll do.
What he has to do.
Well, see, that's the thing too. I'm sure he'll do well in Ring of Honor, but maybe I'm just hoping that they can really get the ball rolling with Brian Cage because he's still technically a Tony Khan. He's still Tony Khan is still technically his boss, no matter which way you look at it, because you know he initially signed with AEW back in back in All Out 2020, I think. Yes, it was All Out 2020 that he
Come out 2 years that he's
debuted.
been with
Yeah.
Tony Khan. I know, crazy.
Well, better yet, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's still technically under contract with AEW, but because of the Ring of Honor thing, now he's there. So,
Right.
but even still, it took until Tony Khan purchased Ring of Honor for you to actually do something with Brian Cage. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I know. It is always something, but I think it's going to be a good thing for Team Taz to be on their own. Expect some big things out of Ricky Starks. Expect
Oh,
some great
absolutely,
big
Ricky
things out of
Starks.
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yes.
And speaking of it, actually leads to our next thing. Powerhouse Hobbs beats Ren Jones, and were we shocked about that? But then Ricky Starks comes out and wants a piece of him. Will this lead to a match at the pay-per-view?
I,
I
I,
really do think it
yeah.
will, and this makes the most sense. I think it's going to be one hell of a great match. Honestly, I think in this sense, you would have to give Ricky Starks the victory against Powerhouse Hobbs to
Honestly, I don't know.
build him into a star.
If anything, if anything, what they probably will end up doing with that to protect both men is have a draw, have like a time limit draw, whatever time limit it ends up.
Oh,
More
it'll
than
probably
likely,
be
it'll
20
probably. I
minute.
was gonna say
Yeah.
either like a 20-minute or a 30-minute time limit. That's the best possible scenario for that because you want to keep both men protected. You don't want Starks to take a loss like this early into his star making you know run, and especially with Powerhouse Hobbs as well, you don't want to give him a loss, but you also don't want to have you in a sense you kind of want both men to win, but obviously you can't always have that happen. So the best possible scenario is just have a time limit draw. So then it protects both men.
Right. So, of course, we've been seeing almost every single week that Miro wants to go after Malachi Black. When will this match finally happen?
Well, I ended up reading something that apparently Malachi Black right now has a back injury, so it's possible that they're delaying this until the pay-per-view.
Very well
Um,
possible.
which honestly though, it's like I guess I can understand it from that perspective, but also it's like why do you have to keep prolonging this like build up of like my god, I need to get my redemption against Malachi Black, and Malachi Black is like, fall to the kingdom of the, fall to the kingdom, fall to the throne, fall to the house of Black, like this kind of thing. It's like you're just prolonging this
I know.
because of like, Malachi's back injury right
Right.
now. But at the
So
same time, it's like, what else can you really do to build this
I will
match?
probably say it will happen at a pay per view. As far as when in the pay per view will happen, it would not shock me if it's on the buy-in. To
I
be
don't
honest
know
with you,
though, because like, you know,
I don't think I see it something being on the main pay per view. But then again, who the hell knows?
I
It
feel
could
like it
be.
would be on the main pay per view because like if it's on the buy-in, then like what are you doing with that?
Right. Uh, so Christian Cage and Matt Hardy, they have a long term storytelling with them, because the great matches that they have had in the past, especially in the tag team division. But Christian Cage does beat Matt Hardy. I mean, no shocker there. But isn't done with him as he puts a chair in the ring to try to get the concerto. But Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus come down and he then runs away. Um, You know, it would be nice if Christian Cage had somebody with him to lead into a tag team match at All Out, but this way that they are doing the storytelling between Jungle Boy and Christian Cage right now is some of the best stuff of all of AEW right now, of all professional wrestling.
Yeah,
The story building to this is like some of the greatest stuff I've probably ever seen. We're seeing a side of Jungle Boy that I didn't think we were ever going to see out of him as a singles competitor, to be honest with you. But Christian Cage is getting this kind of side out of him. And honestly, I would like to see an edgier Jungle Boy, to be honest with you. I think it's great for his character work moving forward. And who knows, we could see a potential future world champion out of him if he can continue it, improving and getting better because he's still young. He's still very young. Um, I want to say he's the same age as Marty.
yes,
He's
yeah,
25 years old and um and doing amazing things in AEW right now. I mean, he's a former world tag team champion, so it would be nice to see him eventually win a singles title too. But as far as you know, I always thought like Matt Hardy teaming up with Christian would have made sense, or if you still had Luchasaurus with Christian, having Matt Hardy against Jungle Boy would have made more sense to have a tag team match there. But again, I really do think that if there's any match that I would be looking forward to on, you know, at All Out, it would be definitely Christian Cage and Jungle Boy because I would assume that that's what's going to be the heading into the pay per view at this point. Um, so Daniel Garcia claims to be the Dragon Slayer and wants another match against uh, Brian Danielson. Thoughts?
I say let it happen,
And
but
honestly, this time I would hope that it would be Brian Danielson that beats him this time.
yes, and also I hope that this time Brian Danielson would be in a better like state than um against Daniel Garcia the first time because like it just you could tell late in the match that like he probably wasn't at 100%. If anything, he was probably at like 75%, but yet like they cleared him. It's like, he's been cleared for a while, but at the same time it's like I don't know how much of a good idea that really was.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're gonna wait until he's about 100% before you see Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson face off against each other.
Well, that's another thing too. Is I feel like AEW. I don't know if they are or not, but what they should do is what WWE was doing with him after they um, had him come back in 2018. Give him a crash test, give him, like all that stuff that they were doing with him to make sure that like he could still continue to do this even after, like, yeah, because they gave him a crash test, they gave him like all this stuff in relation to like his head trauma and like all that stuff with that. So I don't know if they are or not. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Either way, just keep him protected. That's
Right.
all. That's all we ask.
All right, but going forward, Pac has been making waves as being the All Atlantic champion.
He's
Uh,
been defending it a lot in like Rev Pro.
yeah, he defended it against Connor Mills and beat him to retain. But Kip Sabian was in the crowd and he went up to him and held the title up. Could Kip Sabian, who, yes, is the man with the box on his head,
In case you didn't know,
could he be the next challenger? Could we see a debut in Kip Sabian very soon?
that would be nice.
Re-debuting. It would be nice. I
A
want to know. I just
repackaged
want
Kip
to know
Sabian.
if he actually will wrestle with the box on his head. That would be hilarious.
I don't think they
That
would
would
go
be
that far,
hilarious if that
but
does
at
happen.
least, at least, if anything, they would have him for his entrance. They would have him come out with the box on his head.
That would be hilarious to see him wrestle with the damn box on his. I mean, I know like it's supposed to be a professional wrestling company, but there are a few sides of sports entertainment in there, and I think that would be hilarious to see. Um, this one was a weird one. So Ethan Page comes out. He almost kind of had a very like MGF kind of like promo, but not in the same sense. You know, call Tony Khan a fucking mark, like or anything like that. But he asks why he isn't on TV every week, even though we kind of seen him on TV every single week. So I don't know. That
I
kind of
mean,
felt
he
a little weird.
hasn't really been on TV in the past few weeks, but
So he
like,
asks why he isn't on TV every week, and he says he deserves better and is met in the ring by Stokely Hathaway. Could this be a business opportunity? It kind of looks like it was such. Kind
yeah,
of
I
looks like
mean,
he
Ethan did
accepted.
take the business card, so maybe Ethan Page could start being managed
Kind of
by
makes you
Stokely.
wonder what happened with America Top Team because like it just all of a sudden was like
Yeah,
no more.
it just all fell apart now.
Like
But it's not to say that Paige Van Zant still doesn't have a promising future in AEW. I mean, she
I don't
signed
know
her
what's I
contract,
know,
but
but I don't know what's going on with her
I
or
don't know
anything
what's going
like
on
that
with her.
either.
I don't even know what really. I'm pretty sure Scorpio is injured. Um,
I don't know
I
what's going on with the American Top Team right now, to be honest with
yeah.
you. But I think
Hey,
Ethan
I
Page
look at it this way.
deserves an opportunity with Stokely Hathaway. I think he can
Yes,
very well help his career
I look at it
out.
this way though. If American Top Team is truly done, then no more Dan Lambert. Finally,
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Ethan Page is good enough as
I'm
a
tired of
wrestler
seeing
that
that fat-faced dipshit on our TVs every
could
week.
very well, get an opportunity in the singles division. But if we see anything from Impact, who the hell really knows what is up next for Ethan Page? The Dead Man has just not caught a break at all,
Yeah, not
and it's kind of
really.
sad. But the Acclaimed and the Gun Club first face off in AEW's first ever dumpster match. No, it's not the first ever
I was gonna
dumpster
say
match
your
ever.
notes say the first ever dumpster. It is not the first ever.
It's the
It's
first
first ever in AEW.
AEW. Yes, I thought I'd clarify that first ever in AEW. Um,
Which, by the way, the what happened after the match? The Gun Club were actually inside the dumpster. They
really?
didn't actually like escape through the trapdoor or whatever. No, They were actually inside the dumpster. Somehow they were okay.
That's crazy because honestly, there was a compartment where they could have easily have gotten out of it beforehand. Yes, I know I'm exposing the business again, but um,
We tend to do that every now and
I know, but like if you saw the dumpster, there was literally a
yeah,
compartment they could have
well every dumpster has like a little like
they
trapdoor
they,
or
they could
whatever
have
that
honestly gotten out of that. But honestly, I could have swore they probably were still in there afterwards. But I'm just grateful that they're okay. But yeah,
yeah, because that could have ended
let me tell you
very
something. Max Caster, you're a fucking genius.
yeah.
Frickin' said,
No filter on Instagram. I make the ass boys retire like Vince McMahon.
yeah, that was a killer line there, Max Caster. I tell you, Platinum Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, they're the greatest tag team. Tony Khan, please, for the love of God, push them to be tag team
Yes.
champions. It needs to happen. You have something out of the Acclaimed. They are mega stars in the tag team division. Nothing against Swerve and Glory, but please make the Acclaimed
Well, better
future
yet,
tag team
better
champions.
yet, a lot of people are saying, well, oh, but FTR is the tag team. Yes, they are the number one contenders to the tag team, to the AEW tag team
That's
titles.
why I've been
But
saying it forever. I think I'm gonna say the FTR against Swerve and Glory makes the most sense heading into
but
All Out.
also
But
but also they've already held the titles once. They don't like let them have that their run as IWGP, Ring of Honor, and AAA tag team champions. Like they don't really need the AEW tag team titles again. Like it would be nice for them to win it a second time, but like right now they don't need it. Especially if you know they're gonna be in Japan a lot, or potentially,
right.
or even one if and when Ring of Honor starts up, like they'll be defending the Ring of Honor tag team titles, um, going around Mexico defending the AAA tag team titles. I mean, they've already done it like a handful of times, so
Right.
it's like they're probably gonna do it more. Um,
Probably.
either way, like that's the point. Is like they've already had their time with the AEW tag team titles. Let the acclaimed have a chance at gold.
Oh, I
And
know.
let them fucking run with it.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, they do beat the Gun Club in the first ever AEW dumpster match.
They
Um,
put those ass boys in the trash boys.
yeah, they are now the Trash Boys. But I'm sure this is not the end of the Acclaimed and the Gun Club. By far. Not done yet. So Chris Jericho and Wheeler you face off against each other. The winner of this match gets the face off against John Moxley later tonight at Quake by the Lake. So to really no surprise, Chris Jericho does beat Wheeler Yuta, and after the match won't let go of him.
Of the submission of the lion tamer.
And then Moxley comes down after the match. Um,
I saw an article that said, "Oh, we get a glimpse of the Lionheart." I don't know if you could really consider that like a glimpse of the Lionheart. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I have actually never seen like what the Lionheart like whole thing is. So I don't know. Was that a tease at the Lionheart? Was it not? I don't know.
it probably was, but now I just want to know if he's actually gonna have the whole music of the Lionheart, and then also like
I'm pretty sure
the
he
whole
will.
like attire and everything like that. Because I'm pretty sure his attire for the Lionheart was like yellow or something like that. But
Yes.
I
But that's a better question too. Will it even fit him anymore?
I'm sure he'll have something that's custom fit, like
Probably.
the old attire was the match. Him it might still fit. I mean, he has lost quite a bit of weight,
Well, especially since he had a freaking pulmonary embolism.
but
So
yes. I kind of figured it was going to be Chris Jericho against John Moxley. It would have made a little bit more sense than Wheeler Yuta and John Moxley. But Chris Jericho and John Moxley is going to freaking tear the house down at Quack by the Lake for the main event of that night. But yeah, so we're going to go on to, pretty sure this is a Rampage side of
Yeah.
things. Okay, so John Moxley and Mance Warner face off against each other. John Moxley beats Mance Warner by submission. If, of course, in this match, it was a world title eliminator. If Mance Warner was to beat John Moxley, if anybody knows about Mance Warner, the Southern Psychopath, yes, he did get bloody in this match. It was quite a good back and forth contest
Well, that's the thing too. Is Mance Warner is mainly known for
for winning
being
the.
that, but also he's an MLW guy. So if you watch MLW, you know exactly who Mance Warner is and like what he's all about. Um,
He was at Ric Flair's last match, won
yes.
that battle royal, hence why he got an opportunity.
Oh, is that what?
I
Okay.
have no idea. It was some like weird thing like that's like the main reason why he could have gotten an opportunity at the world title there.
Hey, that's you know
And
there was a lot that happened
honestly,
at Ric Flair's
it
last
would have
match.
been cool to have, you know, seen him like get that title opportunity, but to
Mm,
no surprise, John Moxley beats him by submission. So we head on to the rest of the night. The factory actually offers protection to Ricky Starks. Will he take the help or no? We really don't know for sure yet, but honestly, to my knowledge, I don't think he's going to take the help. I think he's a free man. He wants to be
yeah.
on his own. He does not want to deal with the factory. Even though his former tag team partner there, um, who is it? It's not Anthony Ogogo, but it's Aaron
Oh
Solo.
yeah, yeah.
Aaron Solo
Aaron
was his
Solo is a part of.
former tag team partner in the Indies,
Yeah.
so he knows a lot about Ricky Starks. That's why he wants to like team up back up with him and offer protection for Ricky Starks. Who knows? It would be interesting, but
I don't really know if that's such a good idea though for Ricky because the factory, like, what are they doing for the careers of Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado and
really
now
nothing.
Cole Carter? Like
Probably nothing other than being a faction at this point,
being a
honestly.
jobber faction at that too. It's like the Job Squad. Pin me, pay me.
Pretty much. But it's probably not going to take the help because I think Ricky Starks is a bigger, better star than on his own than having a factory with him. Um, so Takeshita faces up against the Hollywood Hunk. Um, to no surprise, before his ROH World Title, match, which we will talk about. He beats Ryan Nemeth, and afterwards, Peter Avalon beats him down after the match, but then Takeshita takes him down instead. I don't know what the hell that all meant that, he's beating him down after the match. It made absolutely no sense. It really didn't. Like, this whole match in itself, like, felt a little weird. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
get it, you want to make Takeshita look strong heading into the world title match at Battle of the Belts, but which apparently so Battle of the Belts was before Rampage. Of
What?
course, if anybody won the title, they weren't gonna, have them come out with it because, oh, you
Well,
don't want to
yeah.
expose the business and say, oh, well, Battle of the Belts was taped before. Yeah, so I read the article that apparently it was taped before Rampage.
That that must have been so confusing for the audience.
Yeah, Takeshita faced off twice in that one night. Faced off against um
Ryan Nemeth.
well he
Well,
faced it
first
off
he faced
against
against
Claudio
Claudio.
and then one against I don't know. It feels weird, but it is what it is. But yeah, um, so afterwards, Madison Rayne makes her AEW debut. Yes, I know we said it, and she's still technically with the whole two promotions for the week type of thing. It's only gonna be for this week. Um, she faces off against Layla Gray and beats her. Then Jay Cargill comes down and claims, of course, she's that bitch, and it's her show, and has an open challenge. They might want Madison to step up to the challenge, and Akira Hogan comes up behind her, and then Rain beats her down. Could she be the next challenge to Jade? Well, yes, it
Yes.
is made official. Quake by the Lake. We are going to see Jay Cargill versus Madison Rain for the TBS Championship. I honestly think this makes the most sense. It's going to be a great match. I really do think that Madison Rain is going to be an actual true challenge for Jade Cargill. Um, would it be nice to see Madison Rain dethrone Jade? Yes, it would, but to my knowledge, I really do think it's going to be Athena that's going to actually dethrone Jade Cargill. When is it's going to happen? I have no idea. They haven't really done much with Athena at all. Poor Athena, formerly known as the Ember Moon, because she's only really had her bright moment as NXT Women's World Champion. She has
Yeah.
not done anything on the main roster in WWE. She's not really doing anything in AEW right now. So it would be nice to give her a TBS title
Well,
opportunity
not
because it
only
would
is
be
she
her first main world title that she has won probably ever in his whole entire
not
career.
only is she the NXT a former NXT Women's World Champion, she's also a former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion with Shotzi Blackheart. So
I mean, or even if it's not the TBS title, there's still the women's world title that she could face off
yes,
against, but at least do her better than Ruby Soho, because Ruby Soho
yeah,
has had so many different opportunities for either title, and he still has screwed her over. So please do
yeah,
us do the right thing and have Athena actually win the title if you're gonna have her face off against it. Um, So I honestly thought that this was actually going to be for the tag team titles. It wasn't. It was actually a um a street fight. And honestly, it was a really good match between the Swerve Glory and Tony Neeson's Josh Woods. Great main event for Rampage. Like I said, Rampage actually had some pretty decent, good matches on it. But um, Swerve and Glory do beat Tony Nese and Josh Woods to retain should have retained to beat them in a great main event street fight. I don't remember some of the moves that happened, but man, tables and everything in this match. You know, what do you think about this match, man? I don't know. This one definitely packed a punch as a main event for Rampage.
I can certainly say, yeah, it was really good.
So, heading on to Battle of the Belts 3, Wardlow faces off against Jay Lethal. I don't know how I felt about this match. Like, I think it could have been a lot longer of a match than it was. But,
Yeah,
like, you had Wardlow just basically go out there, and Jay Lethal did a job to Wardlow, got power bombed.
yeah. In a sense, it almost kind of like buried Jay
Yeah,
Lethal. In a sense,
Wardlow definitely buried Jay Lethal in this match. He definitely did to retain the TNT title. And then Sanjay Satnam and Jay Lethal beat him down after the match. What does this mean?
well, they
It could
certainly
very
aren't
well
done with
mean it
Wardlow.
very well could mean that Sanjay or Satnam Singh could very well get a title opportunity
I don't
against
know so much
Wardlow.
about Sanjay. I think Sanjay is like,
Satnam Singh, I think, probably will be. I honestly thought we were going to see Wardlow powerbomb Satnam Singh, but it did not happen that way, unfortunately. Um, it,
I will be very
Jay
surprised if,
Lethal looked so nice holding that title up
yeah,
and on his shoulders. Because I mean, I do like Wardlow. I will say that like I think he definitely deserves to have a lengthy run as a TNT champion. But it's almost like he won it and is like I don't know if I can take him seriously as a champion right now
yeah,
type
give
of
him
thing.
better opponents.
Give him
Like,
definitely better opponents.
and no disrespect to Lethal, but like that, like, and that was a great match that they had. But like at this
Or
point now, you
make
start to,
Wardlow look a little bit better because if you just have him go out there and just power bomb guys and have these quick victories, you can't take him seriously as a
yeah,
competitor or as a champion. And it's sad. It really is. But yeah, there's that. So Thunder Rosa faces off against Jamie Hayter, but no real shocker. Thunder Rosa beats Jamie Hayter to retain her AEW Women's World Title. Um, that man, what a hell of a freaking ROH World Title match. Claudio Castagnoli and Konosuke Takeshita face off against each other in a very, very competitive back and forth match.
yeah.
You almost thought that Takeshita was actually
There were
going to
several
take
times, yeah.
the title from Claudio Castagnoli to get that world title opportunity. I will say this now: Takeshita has what it takes to be a world champion. I'm pretty sure he's been one before outside of AEW, but man, he has the spirit, he has the charisma, he has what it takes. He has the look of being a world champion.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was
just
gonna
like
say
the way
it.
that he can compete against anybody that is
Yeah.
thrown his way and make a good match with them, it just shows that you deserve to be a champion.
I was gonna say if not in like AEW or Ring of Honor, he could definitely be a successful world champion in say DPW. Um, you know, but he would have to dethrone Bojack, which that's a tough challenge in and of itself.
Right.
So, you know, either way, wherever. I mean, to your point though, he probably has been a world champion in DDT before. So, like before AEW, we did not know really much about Takeshita. So, and that's really like, we don't watch DDT. We don't really watch a lot of stuff like outside of AEW, NWA, and Impact. So, sorry that we don't know more about Takeshita than we probably should. But
Right.
what are you gonna do?
So that's gonna be it for this episode of No Final Bell. Please make sure to follow us on social media at Tinkle Sports. Of course, our channel is Tinkle Sports and Entertainment. This show is every Wednesday at 5 p.m. We have Out of Turn 4 every Tuesday at 5. And of course, Sunday Morning Tinkle will be returning in a couple of weeks, August 28th. Of course, we will have our fantasy football draft then as well. So for anybody that wants to join it, please join our Discord. We will have everything there for it. So we look forward to the new fantasy football season as well as the new NFL season where we will talk about the Bills and Rams, which will be starting off the whole entire the first game of the year. Who's our takes of who could be Super Bowl favorites as far as all their football for week one that week, anything that transpire from preseason cuts and everything like that. Um, so definitely be looking out for that. And as always, everybody, we will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.